I know how frustrated the people of the territory are because promises have been made, and while some have been kept, many have not been. And we're experiencing a very, very difficult time in the territory. And it's important to restore hope and show them that there is a bright light at the end of this dark road. To do that, our administration, our team will bring back integrity. And I think that if you look at our history, you will see that we are people of integrity and we can restore trust in government.
I'm in this race because I love the Virgin Islands. I'm in this race because I sense, like many of you sense, that we're falling off course. And that if we don't act quickly to arrest our decline, the things that we care about, the things that we have been holding on to that truly make the Virgin Islands a special place, a nice place, will be in jeopardy, if not lost, forever.
I'm running because this territory has given me so much, and I am passionate about the territory, about its people, and working on their behalf. In the years that I have served, I have gained, I have earned, and kept the trust of the people of this territory. And with that trust, with the experience, with the relationships, and the passion that I have for this territory, I know that I am the governor for this particular time for the U.S. Virgin Islands.
We here in the Virgin Islands have tremendous assets that we need to start taking advantage of. We're in an extraordinary geographic location. We sit outside the U.S. Customs Zone. We have waivers from the Jones Act, and we also have an immense amount of broadband capacity that we need to start leveraging on our behalf to take advantage of some new opportunities and some new industries.
The game changers in this are in where we find new investment. And one of the areas is in foreign investment because the United States has a program for foreign investment that we can utilize that has helped our neighbors around the Caribbean.
We must also not ignore the needs of our small businesses, our farmers, and our fishermen to make sure that they have the technical assistance and the capital necessary to grow our economy from the inside out.
Building an educational system for the 21st century in the Virgin Islands is an important priority for the Christensen Otley team. And I think it'll be relatively easy to balance the interests of the teachers and the students because the teaching profession is not held at the high esteem it was when my grandmother was a teacher, and the salaries are low. So I would say that any teacher who has committed their life to teaching our children in these Virgin Islands is committed to our children. And so I think we can work together to build the educational system that we need for our children.
Teachers are the most important ingredient in ensuring that our students have the skill sets, the capacities, and the ability to meet the demanding times of our global economy. We believe that we have to invest in our teachers, that we have to invest in how they're prepared at the university level, that they have the resources and the support they need in the classroom, and that most importantly, that they be empowered to impact the curriculum that they're charged with administering on behalf of our students.
We need to begin at the areas where we're weakest. One is in early childhood. Our children are going to school unprepared to learn. So early childhood education is critical. Our children are not reading at grade level. We need to put emphasis on making sure that our children are able to read at grade level by the time they reach to the 3rd grade. And we need to give our teachers more flexibility within the classroom, more opportunity to input into how the school is run and into how we develop that educational system for the 21st century, while we work to try to ensure that we can provide them the salary that indicates the value we place on the work that they do for our students. We know that WAPA is on track to reduce our energy costs by about 30% by the end of this year or early next year. That is not enough. We must use all of our resources, renewable resources, to make sure that this territory is as self-sufficient for energy as is possible.
We know in order to move forward, we're going to have to lower the cost of energy to our businesses and to our residents. We intend to do this by building on the relationships that I have had at the Department of Interior, where I've worked with the National Renewable Energy Lab and the Department of Energy to make sure that we have a strategy that can move us post-haste away from our dependence on oil.
And the LEAC is dependent on us using fossil fuel and having an inefficient plant. Bringing that efficiency up to par and relying on renewable sources of our energy is what will remove the LEAC. And the Christensen-Otley team is committed to utilizing renewable sources of energy and making this territory as energy self-sufficient as is humanly possible.
There's perhaps no more serious issue confronting our community than how we approach and fix our failing government employees' retirement system.
Our current retirees must be protected. They have worked and earned the retirement that they deserve, and that has to be protected at all costs. However, reforms will be necessary, and I think we can work with our retirees and our government employees to reach consensus on the kinds of reforms that can be put in place that don't put a heavy burden on either the coming retirees or those who are now beginning to work in our government.
We know that we cannot allow the unfunded liability to continue to grow and to continue to be unanswered.
We must find funding, a revenue stream, to begin to close that $1.7 billion liability gap. Once we find a steady revenue stream, I think the government employees' retirement system can leverage that for maybe tens, maybe more, hundreds of millions of dollars to increase their investment portfolio and increase their return on investment. I think we should also look at that investment portfolio to make sure that they're getting as much of a return on investment as possible. We must make sure that our government employees have a secure retirement at all costs, protecting those who are now retired, isolating and protecting those who are about to retire, and then perhaps looking at the reforms for the newly hired in our government. The Christensen-Otley vision for the territory, and one that we will engage the entire community in helping us to realize, is a Virgin Islands that is sustainable, resilient, socially equitable, and that is the center of commerce, manufacturing, and culture for our region, and one that provides the highest quality of life for its residents.
I want to bring back the kind of place that my father and my uncle fought for. The kind of place where we didn't play games, that we respected people, that we told the truth, and that we took care of one another. That's the type of place I dream of. That's the type of place that we should be fighting for.
We want to ensure that we can reach a point where we are almost at 0% unemployment, but more than that, that individuals who are working every day can work for a living wage, not just a minimum wage. We want a territory where we are preserving our natural resources so that we can continue to feed ourselves from our oceans and enjoy the beauty of this territory, not only for us, but for future generations.